Hi there, my name is Caleb Hansen. I'm the sous chef up here at Chewelah Casino. Glad to have you back with us. I'm sure you've seen me around the casino with my crazy pants. Absolutely love to have fun here. We recently changed our menu and we wanted to share some of those new menu items with you. Something that could be easily made at home. It's a great summer dish. We try and use as much local and fresh ingredients as possible. Today we're going to talk to you about two of our newer menu items that we just rolled out. First being our Pan-Seared center cut certified Angus beef filet. Second being our Pan-Seared sustainably farmed steelhead filet as well. The Pan-Seared filet gets tossed with a little bit of butter, fresh herbs, and garlic at the end. Our salmon is finished with a pan sauce that's called the Beurre Blanc that has cold butter, white wine, some herbs, and fresh grape tomatoes in there as well. I'm going to teach you how to do these at home, but it'd be even better if you come up to Chewelah Casino, let me cook it for you, and let me treat you right. Our certified Angus beef filet. At the casino we have an all-purpose seasoning that we use that's a little bit of kosher salt, black pepper, and garlic, and we're going to heavily season both sides. You want that beef flavor to come out naturally, but you also want to enhance it with that salt and pepper that we put on there. I've preheated my saute pans. We've got them at about a medium-high heat. You want to hear that sizzle and a little bit of smoke when you start your saute. The reason we do that is so that we get a nice sear on the outside. It gets that nice, delicious, beautiful golden brown crust on there. And that's going to lock in all those juices and that flavor and the moisture of that steak as well. So while that's going, we're going to go ahead and start our salmon filet, or our steelhead that we have sustainably farmed here out of the Columbia River. All right, so now we're going to start on our pan-seared steelhead filet. We're going to use that same all-purpose seasoning that we use on the steak. It just brings out those natural flavors in the protein. We're going to lay it down into the pan, fillet side down. We don't want that backside with the bloodline in there because we want that presentation side to get nice and caramelized before we flip that protein. While these are working on our beef fillet, we're looking here, what we're watching for is that gray to creep up the side just about halfway, and that's still signaling us that it's time to flip that steak and let it cook the rest of the way through. At home, I definitely suggest, if you are a beginning cook or just learning, to use a set of tongs. But when we're at the casino, we like to add a little bit of flair to it. So we're going to flip it in the pan for you. Now you can see we've got that beautiful caramelized outside, or that presentation side of that filet. We're going to let that continue to cook through. While we're doing that, the salmon is about ready as well. Same thing with the salmon. We're going to watch that pink going to start to creep up the side of the filet, signaling that that has started to cook through the protein and caramelize the outside. So same thing with that. We're going to flip it again. With the salmon, as soon as we flip it, we're going to do a couple of things to help us create that beautiful pan sauce that we put over top of it. We're going to add our cherry tomatoes in there, let them get nice and charred while we're finishing that salmon. And then just before it's done, we're going to end up taking that salmon out. We're going to put it on the plate and we're going to finish the sauce from there. All right, so while these are finishing up, cooking all the way through so we can finish them off with those beautiful pan sauces we're going to make from them, I wanted to give you just a little bit of insight of how we do things here at the Mr. Cafe in Chewelah Casino. We want to treat you right, and part of what I feel that is giving you the best possible sides to choose from, whether it be your choice of starch that goes with our dinners or the vegetables that we serve on a daily basis. I try and use everything that's in season as much as possible and make sure it's the freshest and most beautiful ingredients for you to enjoy when you're here dining with us. So the best way that I like to cook our vegetables, whether it be our broccolini, our Brussels sprouts, or even our fresh asparagus that we get from Pasco here in Washington, is just to blanch it in a little bit of hot water for a couple minutes, let that bright green color pop for you. Shock it in ice water to hold that in, and then to finish it, just before you get to enjoy it, we're going to saute it in a nice hot pan with a little bit of butter and garlic, salt and pepper, Real simple, but nice bright flavors that are sure to make your mouth water. And I like my steak medium rare, just a little bit of blood, nice and juicy. And that's what we're going for today. And so it's just about there. We're gonna start making that pan sauce that I talked about earlier. We're actually going to baste it with butter, so it locks in all that flavor and makes a nice juicy steak for you. So first things we're gonna do is we're gonna add some fresh garlic. In my opinion, you can never have too much garlic in a recipe. If the recipe calls for 1 clove of garlic, definitely use 2, maybe 3. But I like to use as much garlic as I can without being overpowering. The other thing that we're going to, or the other ingredient we're gonna throw in here, because I like to use those fresh flavors of the Northwest, we're gonna throw some fresh herbs in here. Today we've got thyme. Then we're gonna throw a little bit of cold butter in here and turn off the heat, right? As soon as we do that, we don't want the butter to burn, but we want it to melt. We want those flavors to marry with the garlic and the herbs. And then we're going to baste that steak in all that delicious butter, that garlic. That smells amazing. There we have it. Once it's basted, we're going to put it onto our plate for you. We're going to pour just a little bit of that butter on top. Those nice aromatic herbs. And there you have our center cut certified Angus beef fillet. All right, now to finish the salmon. We've got it done. We're going to transfer that to our plate. Same thing as before, we're going to turn the heat down over here on our pan. We're going to add a little bit of garlic. Remember, you can never have too much. Some fresh herbs. Squeeze a lemon. And then white wine. That white wine's going to pull all that flavor off the bottom of the pan. As it reduces, we're going to add a little bit of cold butter in there. And then swirl the pan. You want to shut the heat off because too hot, you're going to end up breaking the sauce. It's not going to emulsify and make a nice, beautiful sauce to go over top that salmon. So we're just going to gently swirl that in there. The butter is going to melt, combine with our blistered charred tomatoes. So it's going to have a little bit of that rich wine flavor, nice pop of garlic, but then just a little bit of bitterness from that lemon and those tomatoes. And that is going to go right over top of our salmon. And then we'll finish it with a little bit of green onion for you. There you have it. 2 of our newer dishes that we have. Love to have you guys come up, say hi. I'm always glad to come out and meet our guests, and anything I can do to treat you right is what I aim for. I'm Caleb Hansen, sous chef at Chewelah Casino. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you here and letting my team and I treat you right.